This goes from blue to green.
Welcome back to Double Duck Garage. We're going to be working on the TF160, the VVC, again today. As you saw in the previous video, we got it started after a rather lengthy rebuild process. The car's in need of quite a bit of love and attention now that the engine even runs at all. So we're going to try and get it clean. So we're going to get the pressure washer out, give it a good clean over, see what else we can find that we need to do on it. We know we need to do brakes. Certainly the rear brakes are pretty much jammed on. Front brakes are looking a bit of a mess as well. Probably going to replace those with something more for a track when we get the car up and running fully and we're comfortable that it's running properly. Needs running in for a bit. We need to check the water system, make sure that everything's cooling properly, make sure that fans come on. We need to do a whole load of other work as well, just to try and make sure that things like the clutch are working properly, and make sure that the car can be road legal, so we can do an MOT on it, and then we can actually move it around. It'll be a lot easier to move things around if we can get it so that we can drive it on the road and give it a road test. I think we've got a fair bit to do today. Scotty is going to make an appearance at some point, so I'm going to crack on now, get the pressure washing done, get this horrible dirt that's on here off, and at least then we have a nice clean car to work on. So that was a bit of an effort, but it's done. A lot cleaner than it was. I'm not going to bother drying it today, just to get most of the dirt off. Scotty has arrived, as you probably saw in the time lapse. So we're going to crack on and do those bits that I mentioned earlier. Look at the brakes, try and figure out the clutch, do some measurements, and we will see how well this is actually running and see how we get on. First things first, let's have Scotty start this up because he hasn't actually started it yet. Both Simon and I have started it. Big sigh. It's a little bit smoky on start up. Just been washed, there's a bit of water been blown out of the exhaust. Yeah, there's something definitely up with that clutch, and the accelerator's similar as well. When you put the accelerator down, it's sticky when you go down, so it's very hard to get it to do anything sensibly. And also, it doesn't come all the way back up. No. So if you push it down a fair bit, it doesn't always drop all the way back down. It'll sit at like 1500, 2000 revs.
On these, it's just a cable.
This is true.
No complicated electronics, drive-by-wire or anything.
No, that's true. Yeah, the brakes, I'm not sure. They don't feel bad.
No, maybe a little spongy, but
I think they're also jammed at the front, but it's hard to know until we get it off the jack stands.
It sounds good though.
It does sound alright.
It does sound very nice.
The hot idles not so great.
Right, okay. So nice to have one of the four running.
It is, it's good.
At long last. Admittedly, I wanted mine to be first, but
well, it was a little bit easier to do this one. It wasn't in quite so many pieces.
This is true.
We've got plenty to look at. We'll get the computer on it.
Yeah.
Start having a look. See if we can do things like match the VVT requested time against the VVT actual. Check the fuel pressure. Make sure that's okay. Check the compression now. We know it's running, but we just want to check to make sure that everything's okay with that. Do some other general health checks. Maybe bleed the clutch. Have a feeling that might be on its way out though, but we shall see.
What we're doing here is checking the operation of the thermostat and the radiator cooling fan. The radiator hoses are heating up, so we know the thermostat has opened. A few minutes later we can see on the PSCAN that the engine temperature has reached 105 degrees centigrade.
Radiator cooling fans come on.
We allowed this to heat cycle several times. The radiator fan came on every time, and we're pleased to say that the whole cooling system is looking absolutely perfect.
VVT requested, VVT measured, and go back up. While it's sitting at idle, it's reading 225 degrees. If we rev the engine up to higher RPM, so it should stay roughly the same. That should be within a couple of degrees, so that's looking pretty good. It looks like that VVT mechanism is doing what we expect it to. We're going to have a look on the Autel DS808, DS808, and just have a look. We can get a graph out of this. We can show the O2 sensors just to see how that looks. So on here I'm going to select the output for oxygen sensor output voltage bank 1 sensor 1, and for bank 1 sensor 2, so that's the pre-cat and post-cat sensors, and then we can merge those graphs together and we can see, frankly, what looks like a perfect graph. That's quite spectacular. And we see bank 1 sensor 2 almost flat, which is brilliant. That means the cat's doing its job. And then this oscillating output from bank 1 sensor 1 is the pre-cat Lambda oxygen sensor, and that is doing exactly what we'd expect it to do. So now I've got these disconnected. We've got the white and purple wire here. That's the one that goes directly to the fuel pump. The relay's in this unit down here. That's what the ECU uses to turn the pump on and off. It's also got the relays in to actually turn the ECU on as well. So at the moment we've got no ECU control of the engine, which is great. That means we can crank it and we can do the compression test. When we finish the compression test, we can do the fuel pressure test by taking this pin and connecting it directly to 12 volts. That will allow us to have the relay, the fuel pump under our control, so we can pressurise the system again, and we can see what the pressure is.
That looks to be about 158. $166.
So we've got about 153. Oh, that one's quite high. 178. So that one is actually quite high.
A 10% variation is fine, so cylinder 2 is slightly outside the ideal range, but not cause for concern. The next job was to test the fuel pressure.
Okay.
A T-piece is connected in the fuel line between the filter and the fuel rail, and then the gauge connected to the T-piece.
I don't know whether you can hear it on the video. We can now pressurise the fuel system, bleed the system. Now 3 bar. It's excellent.
And with the engine running, the pressure is a very healthy 2.2 bar.
Okay, so next job is we're going to do a combustion gas test in the cooling system.
This goes from blue to green, which it doesn't seem to be, which is good. It's definitely still blue, isn't it?
No colour change yet.
And that means there's no combustion gas getting into the chamber. You give that a small rev, a gentle rev. You're also not seeing loads of gas come through when you pump it either, which is the other thing that you see. But if you've got combustion gas getting into the system, you'd see it bubbling back up through here because it's coming through the system, and it's currently not. So I would suggest the head is currently sealed nicely.
Poor old Swampy was actually a little bit worried about doing that, just in case it turned yellow after all the hard work and proved that there was a head gasket issue. But that's looking 100% perfect. Okay. So that's really good. Swampy fitted the elastomer head gasket to this one, and seems to have been a perfect job. The clutch feels pretty awful at the moment, and sometimes the pedal sticks down, so first thing we're going to try is to bleed the system.
Looking alright.
Better. That clutch pedal definitely feels a lot better now. Before, when I was pumping it, it was going down, staying down. It's now coming back up.
And finally we come to the big moment. Will the car drive?
Apparently it's pretty awful to drive at the moment. The throttle's sticking, the clutch is a bit indeterminate, and there's a flat tyre. So I'm going to get that pumped up and give it another go, but apparently the brakes are good, so that's one thing.
We've done alright.
We've done alright.
I think we've done, well, it's moved.
Yep, that's
which
it.
is a start.
It's running, it's on the ground, it's got four wheels, clutch seems okay.
Yeah.
Brakes need a bit of work.
It's a bit smoky.
Yeah, a bit smoky, sticky throttle pedal.
That's gradually getting better.
Yep.
Slowly but surely getting better.
So it starts well.
Yeah.
Starts on the button every time.
Yeah. Doesn't smell fuel-y. Everything looks good on the computer.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So stats wise it looks alright.
Yeah. It's revving well, so the VVC mechanism is definitely working okay.
Yeah, it's been run for a fair period. The cooling system seems to be working alright.
It does. Yeah. Radiator fan comes on.
Head gasket
as you'd
seems
expect
to be sound as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the coolant test there proved no exhaust gases in the coolant.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Pretty good as well.
So I think there's some little stuff you got to sort out, but all in all, it's really, it's going to be a really nice little car. I'm quite convinced of that.
Yeah, that's it. Right, in that case, that's the end of the video. I think we've done pretty well there. If you like the video, give us a like on the old YouTube, and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Cheers.
Bye.